Good morning. Welcome to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Graddick, your host. Delighted to have you with us. We have a very special show, a twosome, a duel. We're playing doubles and tennis. I don't know whatever pairing that would be appropriate to talk about, but nevertheless, we have Carroll County Commission Chair Michelle Morgan. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we have Carroll County Sheriff Terry Langley, both in the studio at the same time. This is a first. I'm really very nervous.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, before we get started talking about the great county that is Carroll, let's mention we have a very good friend of this radio station who's been on the program way too many times. His name's Don Levins, and I understand he was honored last night. Can you share that with us?
Yes, it was very, very honorable. It was an honor to me that the American Legion asked if we could name their meeting room in the Veterans Building after Donald, and I was honored to be a part of it. Donald likes to stop by the office sometimes. I kept praying, please don't have him stop by, because I didn't want to blow the secret before we did it. But last night, yes, at the American Legion meeting, we surprised him with naming their meeting hall after him for all the work he's done, not only for our veterans, but what he's done for our citizens.
Absolutely, and he's only, I think, 68 years old or something. He's a very young guy.
He thinks.
He acts like
he acts like it, yeah.
He acts younger than me, I tell you what. Anyway, couple of things, and we definitely want to focus on, report state of the county, state of the sheriff's department, et cetera, et cetera. Before we do, let's mention, because we've been, I don't want to use the chaos, but it's been crazy with the election upside down, inside out type of redistricting, and all these candidates popping up, people we haven't seen in years who are now all of a sudden on the phone to us, which is kind of neat. But you called upon Keith West, and we're going to be talking about y'all's campaigns too. But Keith West stepped in. He was technically, I guess, semi-retired. Mm-hmm. So why'd you pick Keith, and what do you think? How's that going to turn out, do you think?
So it was very important to me to make sure we had a local Carroll County resident in charge of our elections. I think you've got to be able to see this person at the restaurants, at church, out and about, because elections have been really kind of crazy lately too, and I really wanted the citizens to know who this person was. I mean, he grew up in Temple, he's been living in Bowden, knows our community so well, and I thought he would be the best to represent the elections department, that citizens would feel very comfortable knowing that everything was going to go smoothly and ethically.
And he's just a real good administrator too.
Yes. His business career speaks a lot. His right-hand person is Will Hobson, a graduate of Carrollton High School, recent college graduate, has been volunteering and working part-time in the elections office. So you've got a good mix of a young person coming in to, bring a new balance.
He's a neighbor of the sheriff and myself, so he's a good guy.
He's a good guy. I know him very well. We're in the Bowden Kiwanis together. He's just a very, very smart guy and a very professional guy, and I'm thankful that he was willing to take it a while and get us through this. And bless his heart, 2024, we knew this was going to be some more election year,
yeah.
And I think it's already starting out, just as you mentioned, being
crazy.
what we thought it would be.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's kind of get into it, and then we're going to get into y'all's re-election campaign probably after the one of the breaks. But
suspenseful.
Yeah. That's what we call it, tease. Anyway, Sheriff, give us the state of the Sheriff's Department. How's everything going with the Sheriff's Department and the jail, and how everything's going in 2024?
Well, it's going pretty well. There's a lot of challenges nowadays, and that's everywhere. Hiring's a big challenge. You hire 3 and 2 quits and go somewhere else, and
it's everywhere.
But it's everywhere, so that's a big challenge. The mental health issue's huge. That's kind of been thrust upon the sheriffs in the state of Georgia, because the state's, in my opinion, kind of gotten out of the mental health beds anyway, and a lot of the jails. So it's really been a big challenge there to keep the medical going, to make sure that we address those mental health issues. But overall, the men and women, the employees of the sheriff's office are doing a great job. Very busy, very busy. Last year we had 50,000, almost 50,000 calls from 911 that the deputies responded to, not counting in-call stuff. So it's just very busy. We're in a growing transition, but so far we're keeping our head above water and very proud of our job.
We were in a story the other day, and it was talking about being a jailer is a unique calling. It's not a job that most people can do.
That's a very tough job because you are dealing with, you're in jail, really. But we've tried to do a lot of things, provide better training for them. Thankfully to Chairman Morgan and the Board of Commissioners, they've been getting good pay raises, benefit packages getting better, which helps too. And they have an opportunity to go out and be on the road too if they have that desire, if they do a good job in the jail. So we try to increase incentives, but it is a tough job, particularly again with that mental health issue.
It is, we saw after the riots of 2020 a dip in the morale of law enforcement across the country. Is that recovered by now, or is there still a morale kind of thing? I don't want to be involved in law enforcement.
You're exactly right, and it has recovered some. Matter of fact, I think even those that were proposing defund the police are now realizing they need police. And what we want to do in the police profession or law enforcement profession is make sure we have the best trained, best equipped officer. And so, but it is a lot better. But I'm going to say this about the people of Carroll County. We always had great support from the people here in Carroll County. They believe in law and order. And that during those tough times, I'm telling you it was tough, made me even look in the mirror and reevaluate, do I want to stay in this business because something that happens 3 states away and everybody wants to put you in the same area.
That's what happens when you get the backup host and put him on the radio. Well, Commission Chair Michelle Morgan, before we get in the state of the county, this is really kind of a unique thing to have both the sheriff and the commission chair side by side. I mean, not every county can boast, or you're not going to see that in every county. I mean, it's somewhat remarkable.
It is. There are about 800 county commissioners, 159 county chairmen, some that are elected at large like I am, and some are just rotating and part-time. But everyone always sits there and says, you like your sheriff? And I'm thinking, why would you not? I mean, why wouldn't you? And I guess I'm just really extra lucky because I've had the opportunity to work side by side with your wife. I've got invited to family weddings and been a part of baby showers. So I think that is very unique that we have this opportunity to not only work together, but also on the off times be part of each other's families.
Well, while he's a constitutional officer, the funding still comes through the county.
Yes,
correct?
And I think it's a lot of my mom being a nurse and having that servant, taking care of people, and then having owned a retail location, working with my husband with many retail locations. Public safety is so important to us every day that we can enjoy our lives. And, so we need to take care of them. The other thing, too, I was thinking about this last night. We've got to continue to keep the pay. We've got to continue to keep the benefits because we don't need these men and women, 911, the fire department, the sheriff's department, public works, animal control. We don't need our citizens leaving and going to work in another county because then they're going to eat lunch somewhere else. If they're working here, they're able to go to their child's ball game. And there's that extra layer of protection because y'all know you're never off. Even when you're on you're not working, you're actually still working. And so keeping them home with their families is an extra benefit for us.
Let me say something.
Sure.
I would like to say that Michelle, and I call her Michelle, but it's Madam Chairman, but she's been great to work with, and it's a tribute to her, this relationship. All we want to be is listened to and me provide. We don't agree on everything, but we don't make it personal. This is a lady that doesn't have to have this income. She's working because she cares about Carroll County. So it's a tribute to her that we are in here together. There's some counties, they won't even be in the same building.
I know.
Much less
That's
with a
why
county commissioner and a sheriff. But, you know, we both work for the same people, and if we fight, the citizens suffer, and we're not going to do that, and it's a tribute to her and her job, I think.
Well, it's all your expertise, and you've been doing this a long time, that you've been a great mentor. And previous people that sat in my seat, you know, David Perry's still around. You had Dan McBrayer on the other day, Doug Vassey, people who have been in this seat. Marty Smith's my neighbor. I still talk to him. Of course, our sons live together as roommates, and their son's getting married, and it's just, you know, again, that family relationship that helps you take it into your job every day.
Our guests this morning are Carroll County Commission Chair Michelle Morgan, Carroll County Sheriff Terry Langley. We're going to get kind of more of the state of the county when we return after these words.
The AP Scholar Journey at Oak Mountain Academy is designed to provide students with a clearly defined advanced placement curriculum track to earn a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically prepared students to pursue college-level studies throughout 17 AP courses in 5 subject categories while enrolled at OMA. I'm Patrick Uran, Head of School, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. We have a historic program today in that we have a duo, Carroll County Sheriff Terry Langley and Carroll County Commission Chair Michelle Morgan. You delivered, and I think you still have to deliver in Villa Rica, the State of the County message. What is the State of the County of Carroll County?
Yeah, this year I did a different twist on it. I like giving facts to the citizens. I like them to know where their money's going. I like them to look at Carroll County as a big picture. I mean, we are 380,000 acres, you know, one of the largest counties in the state, and 288,000, give or take, are zoned agricultural. And I think that's important as we speak to our business community, because a lot of the business is done in the hub of the cities, and they don't realize a lot of the business is happening outside the cities too. So really wanted to emphasize, what does Carroll County look like? You know, and I talked about how many calls a 911 operator answers. I mean, can you imagine 700 phone calls in one day? You know, and you don't want to call 911, and a lot of us don't have to, so it's out of sight, out of mind. So really trying to give the statistics of, like, medical calls is the number one that our fire department goes to, and you really wouldn't think about that, but a lot of our older citizens fall and need to be picked up, and then we have the backup with the sheriff's department helping us. So I really want to share some, I guess, trivia, everything you want to know about Carroll County.
Before we do some of that, could you elaborate on that, Sheriff? Because the Sheriff's Department goes out in the rural areas. And, I mean, we've got our own municipal police forces, but I don't know if this is too strong of a statement, but it's almost a different culture. It's a different life when you're out there on the farm. And a lot of us who are not farmers are not even close to being farmers. I don't know that necessarily we appreciate or really understand what the life of a farmer is in Carroll County, but I'm sure your deputies see it a good bit.
Absolutely. We deal a great deal with them, particularly, you know, when the livestock or maybe get out of the fence, or maybe somebody's done something to livestock. You know, the sheriff has to do with that. You hear about animal control. It's in the statute. If it's horses and cows and there's an issue, the sheriff has to deal with that. So we deal with them a great deal. But I don't find that much problem on the farm, I can tell you.
Yeah.
The farmers and people that, I don't know what it is, but the mentality of people that work on a farm are not people that are, they might be victims, but they're certainly not criminals.
They're busy working.
They don't. They're busy working, and they have some work ethic, and you know, raised differently. And but not only farms out in the county. You know, there's a lot of subdivisions out in the county, and there's a lot of issues, and there are some challenging places out in the county. And what worries me about it is what's different from the city, that deputy's going out, one deputy in one car, and his nearest backup may be 20 minutes away, where
Yeah.
in a city area you can have a backup
Two or
or
three. Yeah.
2 or 3 people to. So we try to do things and put things in place for the officer's safety. But yeah, it's but the farmers, yes, it built this county, and we don't have a lot of problems out of the farmers.
You know, we're 16th in the state for poultry, and one poultry farm will feed 22,000 people in a day. So right there, I sit there and think we've got to protect that, because we've got to continue to eat, but also that industry that we have, we don't think about on a regular basis. And when you said that about subdivisions, this is something else that nobody's really thought about. 170 subdivisions are in unincorporated Carroll County. So it's a good mix out there.
One of the dramatic changes in the landscape within the city of Carrollton is the College Street Annex building. And it's give us an update on how that project's going, temporary locations, and projected construction.
So I think within about the next 18 months, I was reviewing yesterday with John Bass with Georgia and West, and going over, where the sidewalks are going, where do we actually want to enter the building, where do we think people are going to park, just kind of doing the logistics, where we're going to put the trees and things like that. All these things that, I guess I have an eye for, because I'm on the sidewalks all the time running, and I'm not the fastest runner, so I get to see a lot visually with Apollo and my friends. But I'm real excited. We moved to the old West Georgia Tech. We call it 997, right across from the Sheriff's Department, and did it within a few months. Ashley Holsey managed that project, had everybody moved. It went very smoothly, and the hopes are in the next SPOST that after we move into the new county admin building, that we can move the Sheriff's Department over and rebuild the Sheriff's Department, because it is, 50-something years old?
Close to 50, yes.
And it has some, maintenance problems that at some point you're spending more on maintenance than if you were to rebuild, do it more efficiently. You're paying less in your electric bill, and you're also making, again, the men and women that work in that building every day and the citizens that have to go in a better work environment. So that's kind of what we're doing with the county admin building. We're going to make it better for the citizens to be able to go in to vote, pay their taxes, find the chair, be able to attend meetings in a much logistical way of doing it. So I'm real appreciative that citizens are bearing with us from going from one location to another, and we'll turn around and go back. But it's going to be beautiful. It's based on the 1850-ish courthouse, so it'll have a clock tower. So it'll be historic with the area, but at the same time be much more efficient to doing business every day.
Yeah, and it's easy in this day and time just to build an ugly block building. So having something that, like you say, meshes with the community and the neighborhood at large. All right, Sheriff, give us the reality. We're all involved in the fentanyl awareness campaign this year, but Carroll County is also neighboring to Metro Atlanta. So what is the status of all the issues in terms of crime from Metro spilling over into us and drug issues like fentanyl?
Well, it's a big issue. It seems like you turn around. I've been in the business so long. I've been blessed to have a long career. This is my 44th, starting my 44th year in law enforcement.
And you're only, 58?
Yeah, I wish. And, it was crack
Yeah.
30 years ago, and then it's meth, then it's heroin, and now it's fentanyl with heroin, or meth laced with fentanyl, and so it's just a big challenge. And it does come from the Atlanta area at some point, but I tell you the truth, that a lot of it we're running into now comes across the border.
Absolutely.
Comes to the Atlanta area and then comes back to our area. So I think until there's just going to be a big battle for us until that border is sealed, and it's not sealed. And I'm not saying that's where it all comes from.
Well,
but
it's high, and I've seen high in 90%. 95+% comes across the border.
Somebody called recently and wanted to know how many we had in jail with fentanyl.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some there, because we have 25 inmates all the time on detox, but most of the time with fentanyl, they don't make it to jail.
Mm-hmm.
They die on the scene,
Yeah.
and that's the reason we use Narcan almost a daily basis,
Yeah.
reviving people from overdose. So it's It's a big deal. It's a big deal, and it's coming from the border.
And it affects the county at large. It's not just a law enforcement issue, it's a community issue.
It is. You look at your family, your friends, and I mean, as a parent, it's one of my biggest scares, thinking that my children somehow, some way, might get on this, like innocently taking something to stay up to finish their classes.
Yeah.
I don't, looking at that, and then as a parent and looking at some of my friends that have had to deal with this, it is very scary. And, I remember the Narcan, we first started, financially being able to put a Narcan in every deputy's vehicle. That was a big deal. And now it's like you need many a day. It's not just the one can in the car.
And you know what's so dangerous about fentanyl? It's 80 to 100 times more stronger than morphine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just the least amount can overdose somebody and kill them.
And then when they say once they've tasted it or they've had it injected, there's nothing like it. It is so incredibly beyond anything.
They're playing Russian roulette, though.
Yeah, that's so beyond anything. You mentioned all the litany of drugs, illicit drugs that we've had. This one,
Most deadly.
100,000 guys and gals a year.
At one point, they were saying
safety.
100 a day, 100 deaths a day attributed to fentanyl.
Yeah, I mean, and these are young people we're losing mainly. I mean, it's not, so it's.
Well, and then public safety has to go in, out making sure we outfit the fire department, making sure we outfit the deputies, because when you go into a home, you don't know, I think, and I can't speak to it, but, if you touch it or you breathe it, all of a sudden we have a medical issue with our own public safety. We're
going to take our second break. Our guests this morning, both in studio, Carroll County Commission Chair Michelle Morgan and Carroll County Sheriff Terry Langley. And you cannot do a program without Terry Langley unless you talk about his upcoming, we don't call it a soup kitchen anymore, do we?
No.
We're going to learn more about that when we return after these words.
The customized academic scholar journey at Oak Mountain Academy is individually designed to provide students with a personalized, clearly defined academic track that earns the student a series of distinctions upon graduation. This journey enables academically driven students to pursue a focused, rigorous course of study personalized to their wants and desires. I'm Patrick Uran, head of school, inviting you to journey with us on the mountain. For more information, visit us at oakmountain.us. Discover your journey at OMA. Prepare, explore, and achieve.
Health is a journey. It's making better choices, even when it's not easy. It's taking care of yourself and the people you love. At Tanner Health System, we're there for you with every step, with primary care, heart care, cancer care, women's care, orthopedics, surgical services, and so much more. We're dedicated to helping you live and feel your best. So let's get on that journey to health. You've got places to be for many years to come. Find us at tanner.org.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Community Voice. I'm Steve Grant, your host. Delighted to have you with us. Thank you for listening. Well. We started out talking about politics, and we're going to end up talking about politics. Joel, if you could show on the screen for all our wonderful Facebook listeners and watchers, we have what vintage year photo is this of you?
I look younger now, didn't I?
Yeah, absolutely. Join me as I leap into re-election at the Carroll County Ag Center fundraiser to re-elect Sheriff Terry Langley, and you have free hamburgers.
Yeah, we'll have hamburgers, some beans. We'll have desserts. We'll have stuff to drink, not alcoholic stuff, but tea and Coke and coffee and what have you. And Jerry Rogers is going to be playing for us.
Hey.
I know those desserts.
Yeah.
All right, they are addictive. So that's a good reason to come out.
And because you're leaping into re-election, it's on February 29th.
February the 29th. This is a leap year, and we'll be having it from 5:30 to 8 at the Ag Center. And, I just want to say this. The people of Carroll County have been so good to me. And people keep asking me, a lot of people said, well, how much longer are you going to run? Or we heard you wasn't going to run again. But I still love my job. Some days I go home and I shake my head, but the next day I meet people and I love people. And I never will forget my number one priority if it's sheriff And it's different from a police chief, and I'm not putting police chiefs down. My daddy was a police chief.
Right.
But the sheriff's a constitutional officer, and my number one thing is to make sure that the citizens of Carroll County's constitutional rights are not infringed upon. You know, the office of the sheriff was started in England. I'll give you the short version, the sheriff. And at that time, that position was to enforce what the king wanted done and what have you. But when it came to America, the sheriff's job is not for the king, but for the people, to protect the people from the king or an overreaching federal government or any other government that fringes upon their constitutional rights. So I still remember that's my number one thing in law enforcement, running the jail and the courts and all of that. And I really look forward to serving another 4 years, and I offer myself as a candidate as well. And because the great working relationship that I have with Michelle Morgan and the Board of Commissioners and all the other department heads, I really want to continue what we're doing.
So, Michelle, I understand you also are going to run for re-election.
I am. Like the sheriff, I love my job. I love every day getting up and helping the citizens. I love when we get a phone call, and it's so easy because they don't know which department to call, or they don't know what all we offer. And I've got a great set of employees who, when I call and say, this citizen needs this done, they're like, we're right on it. I mean, the other night, the county schools had a problem at Temple High School or the water break, and all of a sudden the parking lot's like a full sheet of ice. I mean, Public Works was there at night in the 20s, making sure that our students were able to get to school the next day so they could continue learning and have a good meal while they're there. So I'm asking the citizens to re-elect me too, because I enjoy the job. I hope they see that passion and see that I'm there for them, because again, my role is also to make sure that the health and well-being is taken care of the county, and making sure that public safety is funded. And I mean, way over half our budget is for public safety.
And I would be remiss if I didn't note that Michelle is wearing Carroll County attire. Can you zoom in, Joel? We've got a scarf and we've got earrings.
Yes.
So,
I mean, this is how much I love Carroll County. I know people sit there and laugh and say, I am serious about it. I love going out to county commission meetings. I love representing the people on the state level. I serve on the board with the National Association of County Commissioners on the Rural Ag Committee. I love bragging about Carroll County every single day, because we all know we've got it so great here. And I hope the citizens recognize that that is my role, and I love doing it every day.
So put it on your calendar, free hamburgers, live music, Jerry Rogers, February 29th, 5:30 to 8:30, the Ag Center on Noonan Road, about a hop, skip, and jump down here from the radio station. 5:30 to 8:30 for the fundraiser to re-elect Sheriff Terry Langley. Thank you to both of y'all for coming, and it's been a delight. We'll have to do this more, and next time I'll throw you some really hard questions.
We'll get a podcast going, don't you think?
Yeah, we need to.
Well, this is going to be on the website, so technically that's a podcast. So you're already doing it.
Well, I'm a little bit hurt. You let the sheriff in Harrison County have a weekly show, but I don't get one. But that's all right.
We can talk. Thank you for listening to the Community Voice. Go out and make it a great day. You're in tune to WLBB Carrollton.